8 signs you're ignoring the message life is sending you. Have you ever felt like life is trying to tell you something, but you just keep pushing forward, ignoring the signs? We all do it. Life speaks to us in whispers at first, and if we don't listen, those whispers turn into shouts. The problem is, we often ignore the messages until we're forced to pay attention. Let's talk about 8 signs that you might be tuning out the lessons life is trying to teach you. 1. You keep facing the same problems. Ever feel like you're stuck in a loop, dealing with the same kind of toxic relationships, financial struggles, or career roadblocks? That's not a coincidence. Life repeats lessons until we learn them. If the same issue keeps coming up, it's time to ask yourself, what am I missing here? 2. You feel constantly drained. Your energy is a powerful indicator of whether you're aligned with your path. If you're exhausted all the time, whether physically, emotionally, or mentally, it's not just about sleep. It's about your environment, your choices, and what you're tolerating. Maybe life is telling you it's time to let go of something or someone. 3. You keep making excuses. Deep down, you know what you need to do, but instead of taking action, you come up with excuses. I'll start next year. I don't have time, or it's just not the right moment. When you constantly delay, life will eventually force your hand, often in ways that are far less comfortable. 4. You feel disconnected from yourself. When was the last time you truly felt alive? If you're going through the motions, feeling numb, or constantly distracting yourself with social media, work, or unhealthy habits, life is nudging you to reconnect. Ignoring your emotions won't make them disappear. It only makes them louder over time. 5. Opportunities keep passing you by. Sometimes, life opens doors, but we're too scared, doubtful, or distracted to walk through them. If you keep noticing missed chances, ask yourself, are you truly open to change? The opportunities you don't take today might not be there tomorrow. 6. You have a constant feeling something is off. You can't quite put your finger on it, but something inside you knows. Maybe it's that uneasy feeling when you wake up in the morning, or the sense that you're meant for something more. That inner voice? It's life's way of guiding you, and ignoring it only leads to regret. 7. You're afraid of silence. If you can't sit in silence without feeling restless, there's something within you that needs attention. Constant noise, whether from social media, TV, or people, can be a way to avoid your own truth. But in the quiet, life speaks the loudest. 8. Life sends you a wake-up call. If you ignore the smaller signs, life eventually sends a big one. A breakup, a job loss, a health scare, something that shakes you awake. The question is, do you have to wait for a crisis to finally listen? Or will you start paying attention now? Life is always communicating with us. The more we ignore the signs, the louder they get. But if we start listening, we can course correct before things spiral. The real question is, what message has life been trying to send you? And are you finally ready to hear it? 8. Life sends you a wake-up call. If you ignore the smaller signs, life will eventually send a big one, a breakup, a job loss, a health scare, something that forces you to stop and reflect. Sometimes, these wake-up calls feel like punishment, but they're really just course corrections. They're life's way of getting you back on track when you've strayed too far. But here's the thing. You don't have to wait for a crisis to listen. The signs are already there. The question is, are you finally ready to hear them? Final thoughts. Life is always speaking to us. The more we ignore the signs, the louder they get. But if we start paying attention now, we can make changes before things spiral. So take a moment and ask yourself, what messages has life been sending you? And are you finally ready to listen?